Two-faced frauds. So I want to talk about how a two-faced person becomes the way they are. And this is all based on my own opinion and observation. I believe that a person practices and eventually masters being a different person in front of some people and changing themselves intentionally around other people. They practice this from when they're young and throughout their teens, and by the time they become a teenager or young adult, especially when they're older, they actually have two personalities. They have mastered it to the point that no one really knows who they are other than God. They have a way of communicating about a person when they're in front of them, a face that they show to that person when they're in front of them, and a completely different conversation, point of view, and opinion of them when they're not around them. This is not something that an honest person can just wake up one day and be two-faced. This is a quality that an individual mastered from childhood. And the reason I believe this is because I actually had a friend in high school that taught me this quality is so ingrained in her. It was so ingrained within her that it made me analyze what two-faced people were really all about. So she and I are no longer friends, of course. But I would notice that when we were around certain people, she would treat me differently. And when we were alone, it was like we were best friends, two peas in a pod. And it was very confusing. But as I got older, I noticed this is a quality that a lot of people have. A lot of people portray one thing in front of you and something completely different behind your back. They may even share your secrets and things that you share with them in confidence with other individuals that they consider their friends. So these other people that they talk about you to have a low opinion, and they disregard you as an individual if this two-faced fraud gave them reason to. Now, conversely, on the other side, there would be a person who is authentic. So that individual, the authentic person, when you as their friend are not around, they speak highly of you. So when you do meet these other people, whether it's their friends or family or their acquaintances, and they say, "Oh, yeah, you mentioned your friend, how are you?" And they'll shake your hand or they'll greet you with respect. But a two-faced fraud would have already spoken about you to people, and you will notice that if they introduce you to someone else, this person already has a preconceived opinion of you that is low. And I just find it very interesting that to be an authentic person versus being a two-faced fraud, these two individuals should never be friends. An authentic person needs authentic friends, and two-faced frauds need two-faced fraud friends. It would be an example of being unequally yoked. What does light and darkness have in common? Nothing. So an authentic friend, one who would only have friends around them that they truly care for, and only call you a friend if they love you, and a two-faced fraud would not love anybody really other than themselves, and they would have a low opinion of a person, or maybe they'd be jealous of that person inwardly, but they would portray a different emotion. They would pretend that they care for this person. So an authentic person needs to be very discerning and needs to understand this one truth. And this is something I have observed. Authentic people are outnumbered. I would probably say 8 to 1, maybe 10 to 1. Many people have learned that since most people are two-faced, they figure if I can't beat them, join them. So most people are two-faced. Most people are not authentic. Most people cannot be trusted to show you the same person they are in front of your face and behind your back, because being authentic is more lonely. You have a smaller group of friends, number one. So if it's important for you to have a lot of people around you, it will be very difficult for you to be truly authentic. The other thing about being authentic, other than the strength to stand alone sometimes, is that it is harder. It's harder because there could be some perks that come along with being fake, right? Two-faced people are two-faced because there's something they're gaining from this. The other thing about being authentic that many people may not find it worth doing that is that it's harder mentally. To be authentic, one has to learn to master the way they communicate, master the way that they share their truth to other people, because you don't want to manipulate anyone and you want to present yourself authentically. But in doing that, you should not have temper tantrums like a 2-year-old every time you get upset. So you have to learn to, while being authentic, express yourself honestly and respectfully. All these things take time and energy and effort. Whereas a two-faced person, they're just going to be fake. They're not going to tell you how they truly feel. They're going to be nice because they're pretending, and they're doing all this in order to gain something out of a person, harboring all the true feelings they have and the way they really think about a person in order to gain something. So it's truly like night and day. To be authentic is to be a child of God. To be authentic is to be living in the light, because there's no darkness in light. And that is where the Lord resides. That's where God is. God is on the side of authenticity. And two-faced frauds, whether they know it or not, are on the side of Satan, the father of lies and deception. So the reason I'm making this video today is because as I get closer and draw closer to the Lord in my daily life, I realize it's such a more beautiful life to live in the light and to be authentic and to strive to live authentically, because I know that's of God. And I want to encourage anyone watching this that even though to live authentically and to live in the light, we're outnumbered in this physical realm that we're in, continue to strive to be authentic. Continue to strive to stay where God is and to avoid the darkness and being two-faced and pretentious, because that's the broad road, and to stay on the narrow path, that's the way to go. So that's all I wanted to share today. And God bless you. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.